Hi guys, welcome to my next tutorial. Today I would like to show you how to crochet the beautiful water lily. For this tutorial I will use the normal medium worsted yarn and crochet hook 4 millimeters. Our work, we have to start by making magic ring. And then chain of 2. Instead of into the ring we have to make 8 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now we can pull the yarn to close our ring, and we have to make a slip stitch into our second chain. In round number 2 we have to start working on to the front loop only. So if our stitch got 2 loops, the front one and the back one, we have to use only the front one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches and into the. Now we have to make chain of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into the second stitch from our hook and then into the next 2 stitches. Now we are going to the first stitch. You have to make slip stitch and then chain of 4. Slip stitch into the first stitch and then into the next 2. Go to the next stitch, to the front loop only, slip stitch and then chain of 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and then into the next 2. So we have to repeat that pattern all the way around in each stitch. So at the end we're supposed to have 8 times chain 4. Where we are at the end of our round number 2, we have to make a slip stitch into the back loop. So from the first stitch was working onto the front loop, and now we start working onto the back loops. So slip stitch into the first one, then chain 1, and we have to make into the same stitch 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then we have to go to the second one, and we need to make another 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Now we are taking the next one, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then into the next one 2 single crochets. So we have to work 2 single crochets in each stitch around, and at the end of this round we should have 16 single crochets. At the end of our round we have to make a slip stitch into the chain 1. Now we have to start working onto the front loop only again. Slip stitch into the first stitch and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the second chain from our hook and then into the next 3. 1, 2 and 3. Then we have to make slip stitch into the next stitch, but remember, into the front loop only. Chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then slip stitch into the second stitch from our hook and into the next 3. So we have to repeat that pattern all the way around in each stitch. So at the end we should have 16 chain 5. Next stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then slip stitch into second chain from hook and into the next 3. 1, 2 and 3. At the end of our row, when we've done the 16 times chain of 5, we have to make a slip stitch into the same stitch as we've done last one stitch. Then we can fasten off and cut the yarn. We will hide our tails at the end of our work. So now we have to grab the white color of the yarn and we have to join in any stitch. This time we will work onto the back loop only. So we have to join and we are making chain of 1. Into the same stitch we are making 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Now we are going to the next stitch and we have to work 1 single crochet. Then into the next stitch, 2 single crochets into the same stitch, 1 and 2, and then into the next one stitch 1. So in one stitch we are working 2 single crochets into the second one, 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet. So into the next stitch we have to work 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, into the next one, 1. We have to repeat that pattern all the way around and at the end we should have 24 single crochets. At the end of our round number 5 we have to make a slip stitch into the chain 1 and we are going to the first stitch. Into the first stitch we have to make single crochet, then chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then into the second chain from our hook we have to make slip stitch, then into the next single crochet, into the next one half double crochet and into the last one double crochet. Now we have to go to the next stitch. We are working only onto the front loop. So as our stitch got front and back, we working onto the front. We have to make single crochet. Then we are going to the third one, single crochet. And then into the fourth, we are making another single crochet and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the second chain from hook, then into the next stitch single crochet, into the next half double crochet, and into the last one double crochet. Single crochet into the next stitch, onto the front loop only, single crochet into the third, and again we are going to the fourth one, single crochet, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have to make our petal as well. So we have to repeat that pattern all the way around, and at the end we're supposed to have 8 petals. At the end of our round number 6, we have to make a slip stitch into the last one stitch, the same as we done the last single crochet. And now we have to start next round, and we will work onto the back loops only from the previous row. So we have to start, we have to find the first stitch. Into the first stitch we have to make, oh, I forgot, not first, chain 1, and then into the first stitch we are working 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then into the next 2 stitches we have to make 1 single crochet in each stitch. So first stitch and second, 1 single crochet, and again into the next stitch 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then in next 2 stitches 1 single crochet, 1 and 2, into the next stitch 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, 1 and 2, and then in next 2 stitches 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we have to repeat that pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we should have 32 single crochets in total. At the end of our row we have to make a slip stitch in our chain 1, and then we are going to the first stitch. Again we have to work onto the front loop only. So single crochet, and now we have to make chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Into the first chain, into the second chain from our hook, we have to make slip stitch, then into the next one single crochet, wrong, we have to make chain of 6, not 7. So one more time. Single crochet and chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, then single crochet into the next chain, half double crochet into the next, then into the next double crochet and into the last chain treble crochet. Now we have to make single crochet into the next stitch, into the front loop only, and then into the next 2 stitches single crochet again, 1 and 2, into the next stitch single crochet and again chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Slip stitch into the second chain from our hook, single crochet into the next, half double crochet, next, then again into the next one double crochet and into the last one treble crochet. Single crochet into the next stitch, then into the next 2, and into the 4th, single crochet and chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again we have to repeat this pattern all the way around, and at the end we should have 8 petals in total. Round number 9, so at the end of round number 8 we have to make a slip stitch into the same stitch as we've done the last single crochet, and again we have to find the first stitch, into the first stitch, again chain 1, and into the first stitch we have to make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3, we have to make 1 single crochet only. And again into the next stitch 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and then into the next 3, 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2 and 3. Into the next stitch 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and into the next 3 stitches 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we have to repeat that pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we should have 40 single crochets. At the end of our round number 9 we have to make slip stitch into our chain 1, and now again we have to start working onto the front loop only. So we are making slip stitch into the first stitch, and then chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This time we will make arms instead of petals on this row, so we have to make slip stitch into the second chain from our hook, and then in each chain. So this is the second, third, fourth and fifth. 5 slip stitches. Into the next 5 stitches we have to make single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then into the 6th slip stitch and then chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and then in each chain. Single crochet in next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and again into the 6th slip stitch and chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Five and 6. So we have to repeat that pattern all the way around. Of our round we have to make a slip stitch into the same stitch as the last single crochet, then chain 1. Now we have to turn our work and into the all stitches with the single crochet. So I actually skipped the first one. So into the all single crochets we have to work slip stitch until we will reach the arm. And now when we are in the arm we have to make into the first stitch double crochet, then into the next one double crochet, then in next half double crochet, in the next single crochet, in next 2 stitches slip stitch. So 1 and 2, then chain of 1 into the first stitch slip stitch, into the second stitch slip stitch, then single crochet, half double crochet, and into the last 2 stitches double crochet. 1 and 2, and again into the all stitches when we've done single crochets we have to make a slip stitch. And now we are working onto the second petal, so into the first stitch double crochet, into the second double crochet, then into the next half double crochet, in the next single crochet, in next 2 slip stitch, 1 and 2, chain 1, slip stitch into the top of, then into the second into the second another slip stitch, then into the third single crochet, next half double crochet, and then into the last 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and again into the all stitches when we've done single crochets we have to make slip stitch, and we have to start working on to the next petal, so we have to repeat that pattern all the way around. At the end of our work, when we've done the last 1 petal, we have to make a slip stitch into the first chain, so into the first stitch of our round, and then we can fasten off and cut the yarn. So our water lily is already done. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to my channel.